Once again, it's time for us to shed an old PopCross community background in order to create a new one based on art submitted from the community this month. Last time, the awesome PopCross community helped me design the ultimate Megazord by combining a whole bunch of people's awesome mech designs. And this month, I asked people to submit their own characters so that I could take them and fuse them with someone else's art in the community. And as part of that, I asked everyone to design their character with exactly one color. And the reason for that is because today, the fusions are going to be based on complementary colors. So if I'm working with a yellow character that someone submitted, I'm going to fuse them with a purple character that someone else has submitted. Or if I'm working with a green character, I'm going to fuse them with someone else's red character. And so on and so forth. And there was so much incredibly awesome artwork for me to pull from. People had such creative designs for their characters, and you all, as the awesome community you are, gave me so much fuel for things I could work with in today's episode. I'm gonna show off a bunch of the art in between drawings, but of course the core of the video is doing the fusions. So let's get right into that now, after everyone who wants to hits the like button, because algorithm stuff. Thank you to those who do that, and now, onto the redraw. Let's go! Our first two characters of the day that we're going to be fusing come to us from HoneyLemon23, who did the red character, and Arzor Animates, who did the green. And I really loved both of these. They were two of my favorite submissions, and for different reasons. Honey Lemon's red character here, I just loved the rendering on it. It's so cool. The character looks expressive. I love the eyes. And then on Arzor Animates, I love the proportions. It's very dynamic looking and dramatic. I love how the limbs are kind of floaty, separated from one another. It's just really, really great. And both of these characters came with descriptions. So let's get into those now. First up with Honey Lemon's character. The character I chose to submit is an old character I had thought up, but never really did much with. Flarios, or his preferred name Ferris, was once a lieutenant of hell, but was banished to the human world by somehow causing too much destruction in hell. Satan loves good old-fashioned arson every now and then, but it definitely crosses a line when half of the gates are nothing but dust. When Ferris was banished, he actually took it pretty well. The human world has many luxuries that hell just doesn't have, like, buildings that can actually catch on fire. So, with no more limitations from hell's rules, Ferris has been able to enjoy his life, or afterlife, with as much destruction as he likes. And that's really it. And now, Arzor Animates' character. Long before the multiverse was created, 5 gods traveled from their realm and created the universe. The creator of life, the creator of worlds, the creator of stars, they're the most important to this story, the creator of elements, and the creator of color. But in order to stay in contact with their world, they created copies of themselves and created the God Vessel. A God Vessel is chosen as soon as they are born, and once one dies, a new one is chosen. Using a weapon chosen by one of the 5 gods, they can summon the god and have the god battle for up to an hour. The god the vessel is chosen by can also interact with them and teach them how to harness the vessel's own personal abilities. The god vessels would bring peace across the multiverse, but when the Raid, working title, attacked, everything fell apart. They captured the god vessels and made it so they were on the brink of death, but not quite dead, so their powers couldn't be transferred. They captured planets and universes until eventually there was nothing left. Until the only god vessel still active sacrificed themselves, transferring the god to a new vessel named Race. With the ability to summon the god of the stars, Rexophiles, or Rex for short, and a team of rebels, they are on a journey to take back the world. No, the multiverse that is rightfully theirs. Or die trying. I took some of my favorite elements from each character and built them into this new combined version, and I hope you all like what the fusion looks like. Here it is. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to show off a whole bunch of the other art that was submitted between the drawings because there's way too much cool stuff submitted for me to only show off the 10 drawings that I'm actually working with for the fusions today. And one thing that I really liked doing was seeing how people played with that single color and dealing with other parts of the body that they would have wanted to do in different colors. Seemed like a fun challenge that a lot of people did some super interesting stuff with. Anyway, on to the next fusion. Next up, we've got two characters sent in from two very long time submitters. Our purplish character comes to us from Nishaku, and our yellow character comes to us from Shade. I think both of these two have submitted around 6 to 8 times each, and I'm super excited to be fusing their characters together. Plus, it's one of my favorite color combinations, purple and yellow. Or I guess, like, pinkish, purplish, but close enough, you get what I mean. The thing I love about Shade's character is the combination of the skeletal mech kind of bits and the big, floppy, cool, chill clothing and the cool, chill kind of pose. And then with Nishaku's character, I love the color, I love the Cyclops eye, sound waves in the eye, just the theme of it all was really fun. It's a nice simple design and it's really cool looking. And of course, both these characters have descriptions. Shade's was pretty simple. It just says, "This is my robo dude. He just likes to go skateboarding and do punk stuff with his buds." Nice and simple, fun design, and then Nishaku's character has a much more elaborate backstory, so let's get into it. Once another digit in the system, Oscar Levin was an accountant who worked under the mobster known as Sharkhead in the crime-riddled cyberpunk city of Cell, working day in and day out with nothing but his headphones and his sense of rhythm guiding him through each and every mundane day. One day, upon scrolling through files and numbers, Oscar accidentally unleashed a virus, clearing out Sharkhead's servers of any info they had on their drug and weapon endeavors. Normally, such an act would be investigated by the cops, but Sharkhead preferred straight and brutal punishment. As the virus's source was found on Oscar's computer, he was the one to feel Sharkhead's unbridled rage. Oscar was beaten senseless and left bloodied on the streets of Cell. However, he wasn't done just yet, as his body was recovered and integrated with cutting-edge tech by a rival gang. By implementing a device in his neck which was connected to his brainstem, Oscar could now stream music directly to his ears, just with a thought, as well as now being able to manipulate sound waves from a guitar string to a gunshot. The drawback to this, however, was the loss of his voice, as Oscar's voice box had to be removed to free up space for this device. Being reborn as a new and efficient killing machine, Oscar took up the name Octave and now scours the streets, snapping necks to the sound of his beats, hoping to one day find Sharkhead and make him face the music. Both these characters had so much cool stuff going for them. It was just really fun playing around with the both of them, and I think this is one of the ones where I like how I combined the colors and designs best. I mean, I am biased because I really love purple and yellow as a color combination, but I really like how I ended up mixing the skull and the Cyclops eye with the sound waves going through it. I think that's my favorite part, which will probably end up meaning this is going to be the thumbnail of the video just because I really like the head of this character. But the pose was fun, everything about it was fun to play with. I hope y'all like my combination. Thanks for submitting, both of you. Here it is. Next up, we've got submissions coming to us from Dandelion and Pumaho. And with both of these, the main thing that I loved about them was the use of different shades of their single colors to make a really fleshed out character. With Dandelion's blue character, I really like how different shades of blue are used to separate the skin from the clothing, and then there's less saturated parts on some of the armory kinds of bits. It's a really nice blend of different kinds of blue, and I do really love the drawing where the character is flinging a pink beam kind of thing. I wasn't sure if I should count that as breaking the rules because it's not actually built into the character's design, it's just something they're flinging, so I kind of just wrote that off as the same way if somebody used different colors for the background, because technically the character is just built out of one color still. And then Pumaho, I really loved the different uses of brown to orange, because at the end of the day, brown is just a different shade of orange, and it looks really nice the way that you made the eyes pop out in a really cute way with a more saturated, brighter kind of orange from the rest of the body being a bit more desaturated brown kind of looking with a bit of beige. It was just really awesome, a cool and cute design simultaneously. And of course, both these characters have descriptions, so let's give them a read. First up, from Dandelion, I was inspired by this community to try out a more sci-fi design for the first time. Plus, I have a weird obsession with drawing faces on clothing. Since the theme is fusion, I thought the creature face, the retro-type robot arm, and a wing like neon fabric could be fun elements to fuse with someone else. She doesn't have a story, but I imagine her to be someone who's very comfortable with illegal businesses and underground activities, but at the end of the day, she always helps to fight with the good guys. You know, she is just somehow always there when needed. Then Pumaho's description is this. This is Zarion. He is one of the very few left of his kind around the world. Zarion lives deep in the forests and lives to protect the nature and wildlife around him. If something disrupts the peace, Zarion will do all in his power to stop the destruction. He avoids being seen by human eyes to prevent unwanted attention to his forest home. Zarion is an omnivore but almost never eats meat. Instead, he eats wild berries and nuts. Zarion is highly intelligent and can run very fast. However, he's not invincible and would die protecting the things he cares most about. They were both fun elements to play with, and mixing the browny orange of the one character with the blue of the other was lots of fun. I used mostly the proportions of Zarion and used the clothing mech arm kind of bits from Dandelion, changing up the hand to be a little bit more animalistic. And then I also have that beam that the character was flinging in Dandelion's, but changed it to orange so that we're just sticking with the orange-blue aesthetic. I had a tricky time with the lighting on this one because I threw myself off having the light coming from this beam, so it was coming from one side lower down than the front later on, affecting different parts differently. But at the end of the piece, I think it ended up coming together pretty well. Now, something I should point out for anyone that didn't know about this prompt or is coming into this video fresh, you'll see that I am, for some people, showing all 3 drawings they submitted, and for some people just showing 1. That was honestly just a file management thing. If people sent all 3 drawings in one image, then it was easier to throw it up into this scroll of images, whereas if they sent them all separately, it was easier for me to just pick one that I liked the best and show it in here. Next, we have 2 really great characters coming to us from Hayden Bartmus and Geocat927. And both of these characters were really great for how they subtly used their single colors. The characters are mostly black and white grayscale, but then the pops of their respective colors really make them stand out in a super nice way. The orange hair and flame on Geocat's drawing are just really nice and really make the characters stand out. And then on Hayden's drawing, the blue, especially on the sword, is just really nice and poppy and great. Have I said pop too many times? Whatever, it's part of the channel name, I can say it a lot. Anyway, both characters have great descriptions, so let's get into them now. First up with Hayden Bartmus's blue knight kind of character. This is my character, Kai Itagari, also known as Vex. He wields a powerful mystic armor that holds the spirit of the god Vishnu, the preserver of the universe. It's Vex's job to maintain the balance of the universe and to contain or destroy whatever threatens that balance. There are also 2 other armors inhabited by gods. The armor of Shiva, whose job is to destroy in order to recreate a universe or parts of universes, or at least that's how I interpret it. And the armor of Brahma, which is the most powerful of the 3 because Brahma has the power to create a universe and possibly alter it however he sees fit. The users of these armors are still unknown. And then Geocat's super cool orange-haired elf character description goes like this. I use my character Aria Leodon. I've been wanting to use her for ages, but she never fit into any of the prompts until now. She may show up again in the future, although perhaps in a different alternate universe. The color of my choice for this was orange. Aria is a hot-headed, confident, slightly reckless, but generally good-hearted elf who lives in Phoenix, Arizona. She has fire magic, which sometimes gets out of control when she gets angry or upset, but she's usually careful not to let it hurt anyone. During the day, she works as a bouncer at a fancy establishment, but at night, she's a secret agent by the codename Dragon. My friend came up with the backstory. Thanks, Adasia, you're the best. Her current mission is to find and eliminate the leader of a powerful and corrupt underground criminal organization called the Order of the Rune. whose goal it is to gather and generate enough power to open a portal to Everin, the demon realm, and unleash unspeakable terror upon the world. As a side note, the tattoo on her right arm is supposed to be a sleeve from her wrist to her elbow, and is meant to resemble a rosebush, which I did end up working into the drawing in a pretty subtle way, and I really liked playing with the subtle pops of color the same way that Geocat and Hayden both did in this piece, but of course now we've got two colors, and I just used them pretty much the same way. And for this piece in general, I kind of just put Geocat's character in Hayden's armor. I thought it was a cool combination. It might not have been the most creative way to fuse the two, but I think it still turned out pretty well. I also made sure to keep a few other elements from Geocat's original design, like the sleeves on the character rolled up, make sure to have the tattoo showing. But overall, this was a pretty easy fusion to do, and I think it turned out pretty well. So I hope y'all like the result. Here it is. And for our final fusion of the day, the two characters come to us from Rotund Howdy and the Dog, which that itself sounds like some kind of fun buddy cowboy western movie, but you know, that has nothing to do with why I decided to fuse these characters. I decided to fuse them because one's an angel, one's a demon. Thought that would make for a fun concept blend kind of thing. And of course, I love the designs of these two characters. The dog's character has really cool proportions. The design of this creature is great. I really love the tail that's kind of scorpion-like. I actually wish in my drawing I'd utilized that a little bit more for it. But overall, the design was just really cool, and I loved the head shape and was excited to play with that. And then Rotund Howdy's character, just look at this thing. It's gorgeous. It's so elegant. I love the purple splash background that really accents the character. Just so nice. This is a little peek behind the curtain the second time I'm redrawing one of Rotund Howdy's characters. I do prioritize people that haven't been redrawn in past episodes, but sometimes someone who has been redrawn before sends something in so awesome that I just can't ignore it and gotta use it for the redraw. But anyway, both these characters have pretty cool descriptions, so let's get into it. First up, we'll go with the dog, with the character Moradamer, the purple demon destined to fill anyone's nightmares. This demon monster is very agile and acrobatic despite his immense size, and can take down a fellow demon 3 times his mass. He is an admirable foe, yet friendly to those who get to know him. His glowing tail is also an essential asset to his victories, being able to slice through absolutely anything. And so, this is by far the deadliest purple monster in the entire universe, so you'd better hope you don't cross his path. Very cool, very menacing, and then from Rotund Howdy for this angel character, it says, "He will cover you with his feathers, he will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and protection." This is the Archangel Michael. I had an idea for a comic about angels and demons, so I used this month's prompt to get some concept designs down. I sketched out a few before this, and I still don't think I'll actually go with this one, but the deadline was creeping up, so for now, this is what he looks like. And if this isn't even the final version, I'm super excited to see what the final version does look like, because this is a gorgeous design. But anyway, on with the description. Some things to keep in mind. Michael can be a gentle hand and a furious fist. Mortals cannot look upon his face, for it will melt their own faces, and he has really bad beef with the King of Demons. So that makes it a particularly bad blend, mixing this character with a demon, but I just thought that made it even more fun. Admittedly, I left out one of the sets of wings that you can see here because it was just too much for me to deal with in this whole piece, and then I ended up pushing the tail back a little bit because I didn't have a good place to put it because of where the wings were at. There were just a lot of elements to try and mix into this character from Rotund Howdy's design, and I had to try to blend those in nicely with the dog's design, so I made sure to use the dog's Moradamer character as the main proportions and body for the character, and then add in the extra bits from Rotund Howdy's designs. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think both the original drawings are probably still better than the fusion I ended up making, but overall this was super fun and you both did such a great job. Thank you for submitting. Here's the final result. And so, we have our new community background for the month. Thank you so much to everybody who submitted, even if your art wasn't shown in the video or used for a fusion. I did go through everything that was submitted to popcrossanimations@gmail.com or to the Characters for Pop channel in the Discord. There were still lots of submissions, even though I made the prompt a little bit harder this month by asking people to draw 3 different poses for their characters. So I thought in October I'd make things a little bit easier, both on you all and on myself, admittedly, with an idea that I've been kind of wanting to try for a while, which is instead of me doing a full redraw this month, people are going to submit black and white drawings and then I'm going to color them. Because one of the big things of my art style is my coloring style. So I think it's going to be a cool mix taking other people's inks and coloring them in myself. Which is why I'm calling the October 2020 prompt Black and White Halloween. So all you awesome artists out there in the community are going to design a Halloween-based character, which I'm not going to be picky with how people interpret that. You can draw a character in a Halloween costume, or a monster, or creature, something spooky, whatever comes to your mind when you think of Halloween. You're going to draw the character in black and white, I'll take it, and color it myself. If you want in your description, you can tell me what you think you want done with the colors, or you can just let me interpret it however I want. You can do some grayscale shading in the image if you want, but I think it will probably be more interesting if you just send me your inks, and then I do the coloring, lighting, and shading however I think it should be based on the inks you've sent. It's up to you. Also, please, if you're working traditionally, take as high resolution a photo as you can of your drawing. If the image you send is too low resolution or blurry or at an angle, it's not really gonna look very good if I take that and then color it. So please remember, as high resolution as possible. But yeah, I think that's all I gotta say, so that's the end of the episode. If you're new to the channel, you can check out a whole bunch of other community redraw episodes. I've been doing this for approaching 2 years now, so there's lots of these of me redrawing people's characters or changing them up or venomizing them or whatever. But besides that, that's all for today. I'm Christian Pearson, this has been PopCross Studios, home of the nerdiest art videos on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video on Friday, which is a video that lots of people voted on. At the time I'm recording this, I don't know what the outcome was, but you can all go check in the community posts if you want. Anyway, everybody, we'll see you later. Goodbye.